The NBA season is heading into its final 15 games. With playoff seeding at stake atop the Eastern and Western Conferences, I'm joined at the desk by Christian Carme and Mason Stalph to discuss the rest of the season and playoffs for the NBA's elite. Christian, I'll go to you first on this one. The Cavs or the Celtics, who do you think has a better chance of taking down the top-seeded Raptors in the East?
I don't think there's any question as to Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James. He's been to 7 straight NBA Finals. I don't think there's no way that – what?
The Toronto Raptors are the best offensive team in basketball. Why would you not counter that with the best defensive team in basketball, the Boston Celtics?
Because they have very inconsistent players on both offense and defense. Marcus Smart.
What do you mean inconsistent on defense? How do you become the best defensive team in basketball and be inconsistent on defense? That doesn't make sense.
Marcus Smart hasn't been in the lineup as consistent enough as he wants, and he also has a torn tendon right now, is out indefinitely. And he changes the level of defense that's played with and without him in the lineup.
Smart hurts the defense, but at least when he's not on the floor, the offense then gets better because Terry Rozier steps into his own offensively. But if you're going to be able to stop the Toronto Raptors, it's not necessarily the guard play that needs to...
If you're obviously Cleveland has a better chance because you have LeBron James. That's all you need. Okay, hold on.
Can we stop doing this? If it's LeBron James, we're fine because LeBron James alone hasn't done anything.
He has done it. He's carried a team by himself without Kyrie Irving and without Kevin Love in 2015.
He doesn't win an NBA title unless he has pieces around him.
We're not talking about an NBA title. We're talking about can they get past the Raptors, and I say yes, they can. Obviously, all he needs Kevin Love's coming back before the playoffs start, right?
But will he be healthy?
The 1-2 punch, I assume so. And even if he's not, he can get you past Toronto and I'm sure Boston. Do you want Kyrie Irving? Do you want LeBron James?
I want Kyrie Irving. Okay, he's the one that hit the shot to give the Cavs that series win over the Dubs.
Who's their second option?
Who is the Celtics' second option? You have option number 1 is Al Horford.
No.
I'm sorry, option number 2 is Al Horford.
Offensively.
Al Horford, Terry Rozier's a 3.
Terry Rozier's the 3? Off the bench you want the 3?
He's a starter now.
We could go on for this for the whole block. We got to go to the Western Conference now. Golden State, Houston, they're going to be the top 2 seeds. Which team do you think in the 7 or 8 seed spot could be the biggest threat to them in the first round?
If Minnesota falls a game and a half back into the 7 or the 8 spot, a lineup of Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, and hopefully a healthy Jimmy Butler is an absolute team that could take one of those teams to maybe 5 or hopefully for them 6.
I highly doubt that. The only win that they've had, that the Timberwolves have had versus Golden State and Houston the entire year was on March 11th, and they didn't have Steph Curry. They're just not good in close games. We're
not saying which team could win 4, but which team could not get swept. The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yes. Well, let's preface this by none of the teams are going to lose. The Golden State and Houston aren't going to lose to any of these teams. But I just don't think that they have enough to even compete. There's no way. If they don't have Jimmy Butler,
Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins and potentially Jimmy Butler don't have enough to compete.
Wiggins is extremely
Who's
inconsistent.
Your team, Christian?
I have the San Antonio Spurs if Kawhi Leonard's healthy and they can. What do you mean? They were up in the NBA Finals last year when they were up 20 points in Game 1 with Kawhi Leonard.
And then
Zaza Pachulia landed on his foot and their
Cat plus Wiggins plus Butler is more than just Kawhi Leonard. You can't tell me that Kawhi
Leonard, all-star forward LaMarcus Aldridge. They're resting Pau Gasol and Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. They have young guns like DeJounte Murray. Kyle Anderson has been stepping up. They have Rudy Gay, who's been an offensive good.
All these players that have been injured or old.
And they've been resting them, and they're healthy. And it's the only one that's not healthy is Kawhi Leonard, and he's been cleared to play.
And LaMarcus Aldridge, who has also not been healthy over the last couple of weeks with some knee injuries.
Correct, but you rest them, and if they get into the playoffs, they would be a huge first-round matchup, and I think that they could potentially win a few games on the back of Kawhi Leonard's defense against Kevin Durant or James Harden. There's just a lot there, and I think that
Spurs golden era has passed. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. I think that I think for championships, I think so. But if you can compete in the playoffs for a couple of games, I think you can do that.
Well, let's move there. Let's stay in the West. Christian, the West race is very tight. Who do you think is the team that ends up being the 3 seed going into the playoffs?
I love me some Portland Trail Blazers basketball. They are absolutely filthy. They've won 10 games in a row. They're what I would love the Wizards to be.
There's a lot of things that I wish the Wizards were.
Well, you know what? This is what it is. The Portland Trail Blazers right here. They're amazing. Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum are a 1-2 punch.
I cannot bet against the Oklahoma City Thunder because
I can very easily. I can look at the bench
compared
and say,
to Portland,
I'm out. Yeah, of course.
Why?
Because they have a much larger pool of role players to choose from. Evan Turner, he can facilitate off
But
the
when
bench.
it comes down to determining who gets that number 3 seed, it's going to come down to your stars. And the star power on Oklahoma City is second to just about a couple of teams that fit.
Let's look at the games that the Oklahoma City still have to play. They have to
Same
play
with
against
Portland,
the
though.
Rockets, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Blazers, the Spurs, and the Warriors. That's 5 and 15
Portland has
games.
all of those teams as well.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
don't
do. They
the
have
Celtics.
Golden State.
They do
have
have Golden
Oklahoma
State, they do
City.
have the
They have Minnesota.
And they're on a 10-game win streak, and they're playing phenomenal. And they've beaten Golden State the last time they played them. They've competed against every team, and they have what it takes. And
You want to use the case of LeBron James makes it all okay. Russell Westbrook, along with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, makes it all okay for OKC.
Well, one thing's for sure, this 3-seed race is going to be super tight. Can't wait to watch the end of it. But don't go anywhere and stay tuned, because when we come back, our experts in sports betting will discuss the potential legalization of sports gambling. You don't want to miss this.